moment I saw her, my heart sank. She was the most heavily pregnant cat I'd ever come across, her small body barely able to support her huge belly. Gently, I prepared the ultrasound machine, wanting to see if her babies were still okay. But when the picture came up on the screen, I stepped back in horror. "Oh God," I said quietly, my voice shaking. When I first saw her at the animal rescue, she looked terrified. Our eyes met, and I felt connected to her right away. "Hi there, sweetheart," I said softly, trying to comfort her. She seemed to understand and let out a small meow. A shelter worker came over and said, "Someone dropped her off in the middle of the night, poor thing. We know nothing about her." As carefully as I could, I brought her to the examination room. "It's okay, baby," I whispered, stroking her smooth fur to calm her down. She made a weak, rumbling sound, which helped me relax a little. "Let's find out what's wrong with you," I said gently, trying to sound more confident than I really was. I desperately needed to figure out what was happening to this vulnerable cat. The shelter people told me that someone had left her at their entrance during the night. "No note, nothing," one worker said. "We just found her there this morning." I couldn't believe how someone could abandon her like that. I decided to call her Bella because she seemed so gentle despite everything she'd been through. Her swollen belly looked like it could give birth at any second. "You're going to be a mom, Bella," I said, hoping she'd accept her new name. She gazed up at me, probably confused about what I meant. Giving her a name made her feel less abandoned. Bella trusted me, and I felt enormous pressure to save her. While petting her, I noticed a strange bump beneath her coat. "What's that?" I mumbled, more interested than concerned. I carefully felt the lump, thinking it was just part of being pregnant. "You've got quite a story, haven't you, Bella?" I said, trying to figure out what was happening. "This bump is probably harmless, but I need to be sure." I watched Bella lying still on the examination table, breathing quietly but calmly. I got the ultrasound ready, wondering what I might find. The screen turned on, showing dark shapes moving inside Bella's belly. "Okay, let's see what we're working with," I said, mainly talking to myself. Looking at the monitor, the images started getting clearer. Bella shifted slightly but stayed patient, believing I would do what's best. "Almost done," I said, focusing hard. The dark shapes began turning into more detailed forms. Something was clearly not right, but it was too early to know what exactly. As I spoke softly to Bella, she seemed to calm down from my touch. Her eyes became less scared, and a gentle rumble began in her chest. The shelter workers stood close by, watching with curiosity about this strange situation. "We don't get complex cases like this often," one said. "She's in good hands with you now," another assured me. I nodded, feeling the weight of their trust in me. At our rescue center, we cared for all animals like they were our own. Our group was tight and always helped each other when any animal was in trouble. Everyone's commitment was really amazing. Past rescue stories and recoveries kept flooding back to me. "Do you remember Rex's case?" Someone laughed, remembering good times. Each memory brought back the hope and care that filled our shelter. Every animal that came to us had their own background, sometimes heartbreaking, sometimes full of promise. Bella's situation was becoming more fascinating by the minute. "I'm curious what happens next with her," I said aloud, half joking. "Something positive, I hope," a teammate responded cheerfully. Bella's journey was still unfolding, and I had a hunch it would surprise us all very soon. While caring for Bella, a woman burst in carrying an injured stray dog. Her hands were trembling. "I found him hurt on the road," she said, eyes filled with panic. I calmed her, Don't panic, we'll take care of him." I quickly helped the veterinary team. The dog had serious cuts, probably from sharp metal. "That must hurt," a coworker said quietly as we started cleaning the injuries. I softly touched the dog's ear as he cried. "Hang in there, friend," I whispered. Bella watched quietly, peaceful and aware. Her calmness was reassuring, even while we dealt with this crisis. We wrapped the wounds and gave the dog medicine for pain. The woman, obviously thankful, beamed. "Thank you so much," she said as she prepared to go. "He's in safe hands now," I told her kindly. The day turned hectic with emergency after emergency, and it was simple to feel overwhelmed. But somehow, Bella's company was soothing. She rested there, quiet and serene. Her peace seemed to ground me, even during all the madness. "You're like a source of calm," I chuckled while stroking her coat, feeling more balanced. On days like this, staying composed and pushing through was crucial. The doorbell chimed as someone else rushed inside frantically. This time it was a small tabby cat walking with difficulty. "Looks like we've got another case," a coworker said with humor. I grinned, prepared for the next obstacle. "Let's see what we can help you with," I said warmly to the tabby cat, gently lifting him to see what was wrong. The owner entered looking extremely anxious, eyes darting around the clinic. "I think he ate something toxic," she said with fear in her voice. I crouched down to check the cat, searching for any warning signs. "He seems okay for now," I said softly, looking for issues. While cleaning up, I couldn't stop thinking about Bella. The strange ultrasound image remained in my mind. "What's going on in there?" I thought. My coworker brushed it off, but something seemed off. I knew I had to examine more closely when things settled down. Walking back to Bella, I noticed her becoming more awake. "Hey, sweetie," I said hello, and she purred back. Her believing gaze gave me strength. I was committed to ensuring everything was okay for her and her little ones. The shelter director approached. "Any news on that ultrasound?" she wondered. "Not yet, but I'll know by tonight," I answered. She nodded, feeling relieved. Her faith reminded me of my duty. "Thanks, I knew you'd figure it out," she said, walking away. Finally, I did another ultrasound on Bella, concentrating on her round belly. As the pictures showed up on the screen, something grabbed my attention. "Hold on," I said, trying to make the image clearer. Among the tiny forms, there was something horribly wrong. The shapes were too uniform, with pointed edges that no baby should have. "They're not normal," I whispered, my blood turning to ice. "Sorry for the interruption." Before we continue with the story, I kindly ask you to like the video and subscribe to this channel. It is very important for us. Thank you very much. Something was bouncing the sound waves back in a way that made me feel sick, like it was made of metal or hard plastic. "These don't all look like baby cats," I said with a gasp, my face twisted with fear. Our trip had turned into something terrible and scary. My heart sank as the awful truth hit me. "I need someone to help me right now," I shouted in panic. Jake ran over right away, his face going white when he looked at the screen. "Oh my God, what is that thing?" he whispered. "We had to fix this before something really bad happened." The animal doctor rushed in, looking straight at the ultrasound screen. "These things aren't moving like they should," she said, worry clear in her voice. "Actually, they're not moving at all." I agreed, both of us getting more scared. "What should we do?" I asked, starting to panic. We looked at the screen in shocked silence, understanding that Bella could die. "This looks really terrible," the vet said, her hands shaking a little. "Someone cut this cat open before." I could see old cut marks and signs of sickness from an earlier operation. They did surgery on her in dirty, unsafe places, the vet said sadly. We have to get those things out right now, or she'll die. We were running out of time quickly. We worked fast and desperately. I picked up Bella gently, feeling how much she trusted me, even though my heart was breaking. Everything will be okay, I whispered, hoping I was telling the truth. Her soft rumbling sound gave me courage to keep going. The room became busy and frantic as we got ready for emergency surgery. In the surgery room, everyone worked like someone's life depended on it. I washed my hands and arms, filled with strong determination. We can handle this, I told everyone, trying to sound sure. We must save her. Bella had become special to us, and we were ready to fight to keep her alive. The vet started the operation very carefully, knowing one wrong move could kill her. When the first objects came out, we could see how evil they really were. Wrapped plastic packages, put inside her body on purpose with cold cruelty. I can't believe anyone would do this to her, someone said in disgust. The vet stayed calm, but I could see the fury in her eyes. She's had 2 operations, she said through clenched teeth. First to put these things in, and now this horrible one to take them out. When the last dangerous object was taken out, Bella lay still on the surgery table. We had found 7 packages total, each one that could have killed her. Her breathing was weak and unsteady. The operation had drained all her strength. "Will she survive?" I whispered, terror squeezing my heart. The vet checked how she was doing with shaking hands. "I'm not sure," she said softly. "The next 2 days will show us what happens." We took Bella to the special care area, watching every breath she took with desperate hope. She lay unconscious, fighting to live while we could only wait and hope. That night, government agents filled our building. A drug specialist came with a whole team of investigators, treating our animal shelter like a place where crimes happened. "These packages have expensive heroin inside," the agent said seriously. "Worth at least $50,000 on the street." We stood around as they looked at the terrible evidence under special lights. The packages were wrapped professionally with surgical skill. "This is complex organized crime," the main investigator said with disgust. "We're dealing with criminals from different countries." Over the next 2 days, while Bella barely stayed alive, the investigation grew huge. "We've been following this criminal group for months," the drug agent told us. "They use pregnant animals as living containers for smuggling." The complete horror of their plan became clear as agents. Put the evidence together. The criminals do surgery to put drugs inside, then send the animals across country borders, he explained. When they get where they're going, they cut them open again to get the drugs out. My blood turned cold. What happens to the animals after that? The agent's face got dark. They kill them. These animals are just boxes to hold things. Bella was supposed to die after the delivery, another officer said. She was never supposed to live. The investigation showed a network covering 3 countries, with animals being smuggled through our area as a main pathway. "Your shelter accidentally caught a $50,000 shipment," the agent told us. "Someone was supposed to get her, but when she didn't show up, they thought she was gone." On the 3rd day, as agents kept working, something amazing happened. Bella's eyes opened slowly. She looked around weakly, but she was awake and breathing by herself. "She's getting better, but we're not safe yet," the vet said, wiping tears from her eyes. "The surgery was hard on her, and her body is still struggling." Relief mixed with worry filled everyone in the room. Bella's eyes were open, but she was still weak and confused. "You're fighting so bravely, sweet girl," I whispered, softly touching her head. She tried to make her rumbling sound, but could only manage a tiny vibration. "The next few days will be really important," the vet warned us. "Her body's defenses are weak, and infection is still a big danger." At the same time, the agent's investigation led to planned attacks on criminal hideouts in many states. "We've caught 12 people and saved 37 animals," the main agent announced. "This is the biggest animal trafficking arrest in our area's history." Bella getting better happened at the same time as the biggest discovery in the case. "We've found their whole operation," the drug agent explained to our team. "This network has been working for over 2 years, using pregnant cats and dogs to carry drugs. The criminals had a planned approach that scared us deeply. They look for pregnant stray animals and shelter pets," he continued. "First, they do surgery to put the drugs inside. Then they leave the animals at shelters along their smuggling path. The plan was for partners to adopt these animals within 1 to 2 days," another agent added. "Once adopted, they'd do the second surgery to take out the drugs, then kill the animals." I felt sick thinking about how close we came to losing Bella forever. "If someone had adopted her yesterday, she'd be dead right now," the agent said directly. "Your slowness in letting her be adopted saved her life." How cruel they were was shocking. "We think they've killed over 200 animals in the past 2 years," the main investigator told us. "Bella is the first one to survive that we've found. Meanwhile, we started emergency safety rules right away. From now on, every abandoned animal gets a full-body X-ray," the vet announced grimly. "We won't let this happen again." The investigation's final discovery was heartbreaking. "This was worth millions of dollars," the drug agent declared. "They were moving drugs worth over $2 million every year through animal trafficking. Innocent creatures had become living cargo containers in an underground network of horror. But Bella surviving had ruined everything for them." "This case changed everything," the agent said happily. "We've saved over 50 animals and stopped countless deaths because of Bella." As her kittens grew strong and healthy, Bella's story spread around the world. "She'll always be our protecting angel," I whispered, watching her play peacefully with her babies. Bella's story became proof that even the smallest victim can destroy the biggest evil. She will never be forgotten. Did you like this story? If a pregnant stray cat showed up at your doorstep, would you take her to the vet right away or wait to see if someone comes looking for her? Share your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed the story, don't forget to subscribe and hit the like button. Always listen to your instincts. When something feels off, it could be a matter of life or death. Thanks for tuning in and see you in the next video. Have a wonderful day.